You guys, I am so inspired and so lit up and so just on fire right now and so grateful. I just came back from this retreat hosted by the Holistic Rebel and Alkaline Triangle on Instagram. Here in Bermuda up in Somerset, and it was the most beautiful thing ever. First of all, the act of giving in itself for myself was an act of trust, and I'm so glad that I followed. I'm so glad that I listened to myself and I decided to invest, because just listening. Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, just being able to be surrounded by like-minded people and surrounded by not even just like-minded people, but to hear the stories of others as confirmation that you are not going through this alone. And don't get me wrong, like I knew that I wasn't like the only one thinking of this. Like, I've seen other people on YouTube, I've seen, people pretty much on social media and stuff like that, right? But to come together on my island, in my island home, to have people from all walks of life, right? All different ages, men and women, young and mature, like, to see and to hear and to feel us all pretty much looking for the same thing, and these birds are really like looking for their food right now. To see us all wanting the same thing, which is to be free from the shackles of our limitations, whether it be through our minds, through our hearts, through our external world, right? Which is just a reflection of our inner world, right? But I won't go too deep into that today. It's just so beautiful to know that, okay, there are people in different places over the island, in different industries, some in similar industries, some in different industries, some that were placed into those specific designations, right, in order to develop skills and characteristics that I see that are needed in order to really and truly build the next generation, set the next generation up for walking in their power, literally walking in their power. And it's just so beautiful to feel. It's so beautiful to see that it's happening, to get confirmation that it is happening, that this next chapter in, I'll speak for myself, my life, right, but in our lives, collectively, of those that were here today for sure, is literally no more backwards teaching, right? No more minimizing or putting ourselves on the back burner. No more minimizing our own power and minimizing our own emotional guidance system. We are in tune with ourselves. We are listening to ourselves. We are listening to what our body needs. We are listening to what our soul is calling us to do. Because we know that in honoring ourselves in this now moment, in honoring ourselves and what our soul is calling us to do, we are in turn honoring the rest of the world, everybody else. We have created a society, a culture, to whereas we look towards external things, whether it be money, whether it be job security, whether it be material houses, right, material things, right, where we look to these external things for our sense of security, for our sense of self even, right, to show us who we are, when these things are but a mere, not even reflection sometimes, right? Yes, they're a reflection of what we are able to create, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, we can have these things and still feel empty inside, because what we are truly looking for is to know ourselves and to love ourselves and to be ourselves. We are fully looking to express who we are, all, right? All parts of us, not just our human selves, but our divinity selves, our higher selves, our inner beings, right? We want all of us to work in tandem. We need all of us to work in tandem. I've said this before, where generations before have came, everything for a reason, right? Generations before came in order to lay the foundation of this world, whether it be the buildings, whether it be the schools, whether it be even just the way that things are laid out in the city, right? The foundation. But the foundation was built on with lack of knowledge, right? Lack of resources. Resources meaning spiritual resources, right? Using your manual labor, using your ego, using your distorted masculine rather than using the energy that literally creates worlds, or working with the energy that literally creates worlds. And now in this generation we are seeing more and more how it is so much easier not just to use your willpower, not just to use your manpower, your human's power, but it is so much easier, and it can be so much easier. It can feel so much easier, feel so much lighter, feel so much fuller and lovelier and livelier, right? When we allow the part that is our inner being, that is our higher self, that is our spiritual self, that is that Holy Spirit, right? To create with us instead of thinking that we have to do it all on our own. I used to criticize myself for wanting things to be easy and wanting things. I'm like, why don't I just want to work hard? And I had to recognize that it wasn't that I didn't want to work hard, it's that I didn't want to work hard for things that I knew, my soul knew that things were meant to be easy, that they didn't have to feel hard. I didn't have to feel, that pull almost, that resistance. I knew that there was something in there that was like blocking me from creating it in an easy way. And I recognize that all of my life has been led up for this moment so that I can choose ease. I can see that ease is an option, right? And choose the ease. I can choose the flow. I can choose literally whatever the fuck I want. If I want to choose hard, I can choose hard. But I got to choose easy. If I want to, I can choose it. It's literally an option for me. And once you know, you can't unknow, So I'm so grateful. I got a little bit caught up, but I'm just so grateful. And I really just had to come share this because it's crazy how many of us are literally looking for the same thing. And if we were to just speak up and be vulnerable about the things that we are going through, how we handle the things that we are going through, how we sometimes not even how we face the challenges, but sometimes just that the challenge is there, let somebody else know. Let somebody else know that we're not alone, and it makes it just a little bit easier just to know that you're not the only person going through this. I was laughing because I was speaking with a coworker, speaking with a coworker the other day, and they was just talking about how they have a young girl in their life who just had a baby about 9 months ago, and the young girl is going through all types of anxiety, depression, just mental things, right? And as I'm sitting here listening to her talking about this young girl, I see a bit of myself in her, because I have a day where I went through, sometimes still go through doubts and depression and anxiety, thoughts of anxiety and stuff like that. I know what it's like to feel alone, right? Or even if you're not alone, to feel lonely, even when you're in a crowd of people. I know what it's like to feel like, what the fuck is this? What is going on? Like I really don't know what I'm doing. I feel like my whole life just switched in the blink of an eye, and I'm going through emotions, and I still haven't really and get into, I feel like I'm literally floating on water and trying to swim at the same time and trying to hold different things. Like, like it feels chaotic and it feels like you don't have your feet on the ground. I remember that feeling all too well, and my heart was breaking for her, and I just continue to keep her in my prayers because, and it just continues to remind me as well that we are literally all going through the same thing. We're all going through similar things, whether we know that person or not. A lot of the times when we see people being mean, people being bitter, people being selfish, people being greedy, right? It's due to unhealed trauma, unhealed emotional wounds, unhealed emotional baggage that nobody's healing. Because obviously if they would have known, they can't unknow, right? Obviously they don't know. And even if they do, and that's what they choose, it's for them to choose. Like, you don't have to choose it. You don't have to interact with it, right? Obviously, you have those that, come into our environment, but we have to be the ones to be so engulfed in ourselves and our growth journey that we don't let anybody else bother us. We don't let anybody else's actions, affect us. Lose sight of who we are, allow us to lose sight of who we are. Like, no, everything that anybody does has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. And you are the one that is creating your life. You are the one that is allowing certain behaviors or the lack thereof, and only you can be the one to choose and create what it is that you want to live. Nobody else can do it for you. And I'm so grateful for that, man. I'm so grateful again for this retreat and for the people that I met. And I'm so grateful for myself, first of all, for following the call and for following the faith and for leaning into the faith and for choosing to trust in the faith, because we're always trusting in something, right? Whether it's faith or fear, whether we're trusting in the abundance or the lack, right? And my mantra, my knowing, my truth has always been, it is always working out for me. I am always exactly where I'm meant to be. Everything for a reason. Everything is for me, not to me, but for me. Anything that comes, any challenge is sent to me. I am calling it in so that I have the opportunity to be my higher self, to be that version of myself that I always wanted to be. In order to create, I need to level up and be a different version of me in order to get different things. These things that we want, these experiences, material things that we want, they have certain systems, they have certain frequencies, they have certain environments, right? Ecosystems, right? That are around them and that surround them. And if our lives, our current vibration, our current frequency, our current environment and ecosystem does not match up with that, coincide with that, or give it an ecosystem that allows that experience or whatever it is that we're trying to manifest in order to be and live, if our environment is not currently allowing that, then we can't get that. But these situations come so that we can alchemize, so that we can change some things in our system, we can change some things in our ecosystem in order to allow the things that we want. But a lot of the times our ego is resistant to that change because it's familiar into what we've done. We know what we've done. This is familiar, so that I know that this is safe. We've been through this and we've survived this, so this is safe. Even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels bad as fuck, it's safe. We won't die. Like, you feel me? We won't die. It hurts, but we won't die. Like, you feel me? That's what our ego is saying. It's familiar. That unknown, that new thing, we've never been there. So we may die. Like, that is literally what our ego feels. And that is that tension, that disharmony, that dis-ease that we feel, right? I can go on and on forever. So I'm just going to stop it right here for now. But I really just wanted to come and give thanks to those people that I literally met today. Some of them I met for the first time. Some of them looked familiar, and I swear that I've met them before, especially this one girl that I really want to get her contact information. So I'm going to try to do that. And to the people that I literally saw, that I didn't even, obviously I didn't know anybody was going to be there that I knew like that, but like to the people that I saw and who I knew, I'm so grateful to have seen you and to feel your love and just to to be able to hug on you and love on you and see you again, some for the first time in literal months and years. My God, I'm just so grateful. I'm so motherfucking grateful. Everything for a reason. Everything for a reason. And I thank God every day. I thank myself. I thank my higher self. I thank all beings. I thank us. I am thankful that I am always exactly where I'm meant to be, and that it is all unfolding for me to be the best version, my purest version, my soul version, who I came here to be, who I choose to be, right? I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So, yeah, if you were at the retreat today and you want to connect, I know there's one person in particular, and I'm gonna reach out to Shayla and ask for her contact information. But if you were at the retreat today and you want to connect, please reach out. Even if you weren't at the retreat today and you're just listening to this message and you just felt something resonate within you, I literally just I'm here to tell you that you are not alone, and that you are exactly where you're meant to be at all times, and that everything happens for a reason. And I know it sounds cliche, but just continue to trust. Continue to just walk this life. As long as you have hope, as long as you have hope, just keep that hope alive and keep walking. It may feel hard, it may feel difficult, but I promise you that hope and that choosing you and that faith is going to catch up with you. And what's the alternative, right? You give up hope and you stay upset, right? Or you try and you get disappointed, and you're just disappointed. You're already disappointed. You're already, feeling doubt and stuff. So you can't get any lower, right? You can only go up. That's one thing about being down. You can only go up. You can only go up. But I promise you, as you continue to move and as you continue to trust yourself, you are gonna build and build and build a new lower ground, a new low point, and it's going to be higher than your last low point. And it may feel low just because you've taken a few steps forward and taken one step back or whatever. It'll feel low just compared to that high point, right? But you have to remember that that new low point is so much higher than your old low point. And y'all, it may hurt right now, but it didn't hurt as much as it used to. And your response time is going to get faster and faster in how you react to things, how you emotionally respond to things. Like, you may be upset about something for a week one day, and then do your emotional work, and then you're upset about something just for 5 days. That's a big increase from 7 to 5 days. Okay, cool. The next time you're going to do your emotional work, right? The next time it's going to take you 3 days to get over this. The next time a day. The next time a few hours. Like, you feel me? You are given these opportunities where these challenges come up so that you can be a different person in that opportunity, in that circumstance. That is the way that we alchemize, and that I'm recognizing anyway, that we alchemize and transform energy by showing up different, because we have different things, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna go. We have these different things that come to us, right? These different regurgitations of our inner selves, right? Because our outer self, our outer world is literally just a reflection of our inner world. So we have old familiar situations come up because that is what we're used to creating. It's just habit, right? Based on whatever feelings we were feeling about ourselves at the time, right? But these ill situations come up even after we do emotional work and we think we've transformed, right? They come up not to test us, right? Some people call it testing, right? But I just call it comes up as an opportunity to give you a chance to really anchor in your DNA to this new version of you. Because think about it, if I'm showing up in this new situation as a new version of myself, as a different version of myself, if I am genuinely responding differently, if I genuinely feel different about this situation, like, this nigga don't bother me anymore, I'm not letting, your emotions don't bother me anymore, I see that all your actions come from your your lack thereof, your insecurities, your lack of self-love and all of that, right? And I knew that it has nothing to do with me. Therefore, I'm no longer taking your actions as a reflection of my lack of self-worth, but I'm taking your actions as a reflection of your lack of self-worth, and I know that I am good, right? So therefore, when that situation comes up again and you're presented with it, you are now in the version of you that knows that it is not your fault. They're only doing it to themselves, right? And because you're new, because you're different, you have to get different, because you're like literally. So yeah. But that's where I'm gonna leave it. I'm so grateful. My baby is back home. So I'm gonna go now, but I really just wanted to come and share that. I'm so fucking grateful. And yeah. We're building a new world. Hi, baby.
I gotta smack you just now, mommy.
Hi.
Come on.
Okay.